Let's see, we're live.
All right. Woo!
We made it.
Sorry, we're fashionably late.
We've got our lipstick on now. No.
Difficulties, but I hope everybody is on and has the right link. Kelly, I don't know how to tell if I'm talking or not.
You're talking right now. Like, well, actually, I don't know.
I don't know.
You're showing big for me.
Okay, good, because you're showing big for me.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh well. Hopefully, even if I'm small, people still see me down here. Hi. But you guys, thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Jordan Eicher, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm a future National Sales Director with Mary Kay. Woo! I'm so excited to be saying that and claiming that. And I am joined by my first line Cadillac Offspring Sales Director, Senior Director, future National Sales Director, Kelly Brock. Kelly, you want to say hi?
Ma'am. Hi. We're so excited to have you guys here tonight. We have prayed over this. We are pumped about this. We are passionate about this. So we're just thrilled.
We are so happy to have you, and we're gonna try to keep this under an hour. So we know that we can't spend a ton of time doing our fun chit chat and banter back and forth like a morning show, although there might be a Google Hangout space for that someday. But tonight we wanna get right to it because we titled this event tonight, Directorship. Do you have what it takes? And so I hope that you're ready to do a little bit of reflection tonight, a little bit of soul searching, a little bit of dreaming, a little bit of passionate curiosity that you brought to the table tonight to kind of figure out what you are made of and what your path could be in this career of Mary Kay. And we just want to peel back a little bit of the onion. We want to peel back a few of those layers so that you can get to the heart of what it looks like to be a leader with a company like this, with our company. And so do you have what it takes? Well, by the end of this 45, 50 minutes, you're gonna know a little bit better whether or not you've got what it takes to be a leader with our company. So I want you to get a piece of paper if you don't have one in front of you already, because Kelly and I, throughout the course of this event, we're gonna ask you to give us some feedback on some things. So I'm hoping that you'll get just like literally like a plain old white piece of paper, just like actual paper, and then a pen, and that you'll take a screenshot of your paper from your phone when you're finished with the event tonight and text it to your director or to me or to Kelly or to all of us, so that we can kind of get the answers to the questions that we ask you that you wrote down, so we know where your heart's at the end of the event, because I just want to be as open and honest with you as I possibly can. Our goal is to build a national area, 2 national areas side by side, and to do it this year. And when I say this year, I mean by June 30th of 2018. By this time next year, I'm hoping that we will have a family of directors. I'm hoping we will have an ocean of red jackets and career car drivers. And I'm hoping that we will have a true nation, a national area worth of independent beauty consultants earning more money for their families, being a part of a sisterhood that puts God first and family second and career third, and invites other people to join us, because that is the #1 way we can honor Mary Kay Ash. You know, when people would go up to Mary Kay Ash, they would just cry because she had such a profound impact on their lives and their families, and she would touch their hearts and she would touch their faces and she would just touch their lives. And they would always say, Mary Kay, how can I repay you? How could I ever repay you for what you've given to me and my family? And she would always say just 3 little words. She was famous for this response. To each person, she would say, pass it on. And that is the legacy that I am so passionate about and just so thankful that we can all do together. So that's the goal. The goal is to build a national area. And what that looks like, for those of you who don't know, is a group of 20 or more independent sales directors and their unit members that emerge out of a parent unit. And so, you know, that's what we're looking for. And right now we have 7, which I think is a godly number. We have 7 sales directors already in our future national areas. And we have 1 who is on the way. She has a few more weeks to finish, who you're gonna actually hear from as a surprise guest later on tonight, so I won't spoil that. But you know, just to tell you a 2-second snapshot of myself, I've been in Mary Kay for 12 years. Those of you who I'm brand new to, I've been in Mary Kay 12 years already. I started as a college student just to make some extra money. And I never in a million years thought that this would be my career of choice. But what I found in Mary Kay was that I could have a flexible schedule, which I'm a very much, I value freedom and flexibility with my time. I don't like to be told what to do or when to do it at all. And so freedom and flexibility was very important to me. And also working with women was a passion I didn't know I had. I loved that I could work and make friends as one and the same. And that was unlike a lot of other little jobs and volunteer things and church organization things that I had been part of in the past. You know, sometimes even at church functions where I was volunteering, my peer group was sometimes dads and older men that I wasn't going to hang out with on Saturday or Sunday, you know. But in Mary Kay in college, I found that I was facialing women and then going out to dinner with them that Friday night or going to the Carolina football games with them. And it was like this beautiful marriage of friendship and work. And I found that I loved it. I loved the money I could make, and I loved all the Cinderella treatment because, come on, girl likes luxury. So I really loved Mary Kay, and so I stuck with it. So now we fast forward 12 years later. Our unit has earned 5 pink Cadillacs with Mary Kay. We've had 6 or 7 career cars, I think, over those 12 years. We've been a record-breaking unit, being the first $1 million unit in sales in our national area. We've been a top 10 unit nationwide. We've earned, I think, 6 or 7 top sales director trips, and you'll get to know what all those things mean as you continue your Mary Kay journey. But just suffice it to say that Kelly and I were talking earlier, I feel like God didn't bring me this far to only bring me this far. I've experienced a lot of what Mary Kay has to offer as an achiever and as a leader, but I just know that my calling and my next step on the career path is to be a national sales director, to lead other women to their top trips, to their Cadillacs, to their bright financial futures, and to their reaching out to change the world using their vehicle of Mary Kay. So I want to introduce you to my #1 offspring sales director, one of my best friends in the entire world, and a woman who is worth following. This woman is better up close and personal than she is even from afar. She has more integrity behind closed doors than she does in front. And she is somebody that I am honored and blessed and so grateful to God that I get to do life with. And that is my offspring sales director, Kelly Brock.
Hey. Well, thank you for the sweet words. And we're just so excited, you guys. This has been a vision in my heart. My snapshot is I've been in Mary Kay 7 years. I started my Mary Kay business 10 years ago. So 10 years for the first time. I bought a kit, didn't do anything with it, quit Jordan's unit, and still had a desire to be a part of this company. And I just had a lot of fear. And I had a lot of limitations that I let own me. And but I kept thinking about Mary Kay, and I kept wondering about it. And I found myself in a season of life where I needed some extra income, and I decided to join Mary Kay. And you know, I remember going to seminar. I went to seminar, you guys, right after I signed up, and I sat in the very last seat next to the cement wall at the very top of this old arena that they had it in Dallas 7 years ago. And I remember seeing the national sales directors and seeing these women with such class and such professionalism and such success and such beauty and such grace and such charisma. And I remember in that very moment, the moment I began my business, dreaming and knowing that God had built me and would build me into a national sales director, a woman who was willing to make this the call of her life, to pass this on. And that was before I'd even done a face. That was before I'd even done my own face. You know, I knew that God had put me in this company for a reason. And so, you know, I went home and held a 10-party week and got my life rocking. And 6 months later, I became Jordan's offspring sales director, earned my first free car at the same exact moment, earned 3 free cars that very next year. I've earned 6 free cars, 3 of those being pink Cadillacs. One of those cars, we made history by being the very first unit. The Glow unit was the very first unit to earn the Black Mustang, which was a limited edition car that the company offered. And we were the very first ones to do that. And we're in history for forever, which was so cool. You know, I've had experiences of lifetime. You know, my highest commission check has been just shy of $15,000 in 1 month. I've earned, a 5-carat diamond ring that I just picked up 2 weeks ago in Dallas, Texas. I mean, what it has afforded me in luxury and fun and leadership, and most importantly to me, it has filled all my buckets. It has filled all my buckets. It has filled my bucket of needing achievement and needing to have personal growth. You guys, I started as a fearful, scared, nervous, woman who wanted to not be that anymore. I was at a place where I was willing and wanting to shift and be a better version of myself, and it has filled that bucket, and it fills it every day. I am constantly a better version of myself because of my Mary Kay business, and now I'm a wife and mommy of a 2-year-old beautiful little girl named Everly, who is the light of my life, and it's just such joy to me. I'm growing a little boy right now. He doesn't have a name, but you know, it is such a joy to me that I get to make her my first priority. But I'm able to work from home and have my mommy time and really just have that sense of achievement and have that financial freedom and have that flexibility. All my buckets are filled with Mary Kay because I made a decision to start this, not quit, and never give up. And so we're looking for women. We're looking for women who don't just want this for fun money, who don't just want this for a hobby, who don't just want this for a season, that you want this for life. You want to step up out of your mastering your consultant level business, and you want to step up and say, I want to pass this on to other people for the rest of my life. I want to step into leadership because, just like Jordan said, the greatest gift that we can give is to pass this on. And that is the greatest call of my life. And so we're just thrilled that you are taking the time to watch this tonight, whenever you're watching this, and that you're going to spend time with us. I'm going to let Jordan just share a little bit more about like her legacy piece, and then we're going to tell you why this is like a right now goal for us.
That's right. So you guys, you know, we have been talking for the last really 24 months now about the impending retirement of our national sales director, Kathy Halou, who many of you just have tied your hearts to. She inspires you, she moves you, she fills you with faith, and she makes you want to be a better version of yourself. Well, I'm so blessed that she has done that for me. My whole life I've watched her in the position of sales director, and then I watched her in the position of senior sales director, and then a record-breaking $1 million sales director and $2 million director, and watched her become a national and now an inner circle senior national sales director 6 times over. And she is truly, in my opinion, I mean, the most dedicated, most talented, most faith-filled, most persistent, most disciplined Mary Kay beauty consultant that ever walked through the doors of this company. And you know, what an honor and what a legacy that I will have to be able to carry on the principles that she taught to all of us, that she learned directly from Mary Kay Ash, but to do it in my way, to do it in our own way with the gifts and talents God has given me. But you know, my mom has been talking about this image that God gave her about the foundation of the company of Mary Kay Inc. and how it was built almost like this beautiful, big, tall building with bricks that are laying the foundation of the building, because a building is only as strong as the foundation on which it is built. And she gives this picture of the national sales directors who were arm in arm with Mary Kay Ash, building this company in the 1950s and 60s and the 70s and the 80s, and even into the 90s, as the layering bricks of the foundation that made this company so strong and makes it what it is today, 54 years later. But the image is that as these women have been retiring recently because they're hitting that 65-year-old mark, which is when a national sales director retires as part of the marketing plan, those bricks are slowly but surely being pulled out of the foundation of this company. And if they're not replaced with the same materials, then the building will not be as strong, because that's the worst way to tamper with a building's strength, is to mess with the foundation or to build with inferior materials. And you, as a part of our units, are the best of the best materials to build our foundation strong, to continue Mary Kay as the legacy company that it is for our daughters, for our future generations, and for us. And so that's why it's so important for us to do this now, because Kathy is retiring in 17 months from right now. She's retiring in January of 2019, which, believe it or not, it sounds far away, but it is 17 short months away. It's 17 month-end runs from now. It's a brand new month celebrations from now. It's 17 30-day cycles from right now. And oh my gosh, I mean, I'm just feeling that excitement, that enthusiasm, that race towards a finish line. And so that's a little bit of the legacy piece of what you're going to be a part of helping us create, is another brick made from the right materials for the foundation of this company to be able to carry on Mary Kay's legacy the way she intended it to be, so that Mary Kay stays the best opportunity in the land for future generations. And that's a culture worth protecting. And that's why we are here on the front lines ready to fight for it. So we want to invite you to join us. So what we're going to do right now is just jump in, and we're going to talk about first, who do you need to be? Who do you need to be? Do you have what it takes? Are you the right person for this job? Because directorship is not a prize, although it sometimes seems like it. It's a position. It's really an honor. It's a leadership position. And so we're going to talk about who are sales directors at their core. What are the qualities that they possess? Then we're going to talk about the what obstacles, what things are going to try to stop you from becoming that person and from getting the job done. And then we're going to talk about the why. The why would you even want to do this? Why is this going to be worth it? Why are you working your business, and when? When are we going to get this done by? When is going to be your date and time? And how is this all going to fit into the greater vision of building national areas together? So Kelly, I think you are going to kick it off for us on the who. Who do these women need to be, and do they have what it takes?
All right. So first of all, let's just be clear about what a sales director is. A sales director is someone who steps into a position by growing their team, and they decide to not only be a master consultant of their own business, servicing their customers, recruiting for the company, but they say, I want to take on the second role of mentoring and leading and investing in the lives of other women. And so the very first thing that you have to have, which I feel is so key, is you have to have burning desire. You have to have a want to get out of wherever you are, whatever it is you're doing. And you have to have such a desire to have change in your life. You know, for me, the quote, good is the enemy of great. When I started Mary Kay, you would have looked all around my life and you would have said, well, I think you should be pretty happy. You know, you've got a great job and you've got a good man and you've got all these things, and it was good. But I was yearning for something more. And I was at a pivotal point in my life where I was saying, I can either keep going this way and literally blink, and in 5 years, I'm going to be standing in the same spot and maybe making a couple extra $1,000 at my corporate wellness job, having this much satisfaction with my life, this much joy. And I was at a pivotal point where I had a burning desire to be about more. You've got to have a burning desire, you guys. You've got to have a need maybe to get out of your financial, mess that you're in. You've got to have, an ability to want to shift and change. You've got to know what you want. Do you want more time? Do you want more freedom? Do you want more flexibility? Is it safety and security? What is it that's going to make you drive to do this? Because this is a driven business off of your own burning desire. So we believe that you can't do this lackadaisically. You cannot do this being kind of interested. We always say this is a business that you have to do out of commitment, not emotion. And so you've got to have burning desire first to want to be different, changed, new, better, out of where you are and into the newness. So burning desires first.
Absolutely huge. The next thing, you guys, is you've got to have strong character, which is, it's a part of the desire, but it's a desire to not just want this badly, but to want it and be willing to do it the Mary Kay way, to do things with the utmost integrity, to do things the way that Mary Kay Ash herself intended, which was by serving other people's needs first. It's putting other people before yourself. It's not pushing sales. It's not, begging for orders. It's not doing whatever it takes. It's doing whatever it takes without compromising your character and compromising your integrity and the golden rule, which is to treat other people the way that you want to be treated. And so the integrity piece, will make or break you in Mary Kay, because, as a leader, you're under a microscope and people are watching every single thing that you do in your private life, which isn't so private anymore because it's all over social media for most of us, but they're really watching what you do in the business world too. And I will just say, being in this business for 12 years, what goes around comes around, and anything done in the darkness eventually comes to the light. It is just a sure promise. So having the highest integrity, the highest character, the strongest desire to not just do whatever it takes, but do it the right way is such a big deal in this company, because we're a company that puts God first and we talk about him, and it's our job to honor him by working with the utmost integrity.
So the next thing you have to have, you guys, is discipline and hustle. You've got to have it. You guys, you have to have initiative in your business. You have to be a self-starter. You've got to know that you're creating this business for yourself. You can't wait for someone else to come and try to work it for you or give you the right tools all the time. You have to go find it. So if you don't know what to do, we even just say, like, get up, get dressed, look cute, get out, and pray that God leads you somewhere, because I promise you will not find what you need inside of the computer, inside of your house with your jammies on. You've got to have a strong sense of focus and not letting yourself off the hook and reminding yourself constantly why you wanted this. So you've got to have that discipline and hustle of doing the same things the same way consistently, because when you have a spurt of activity, you'll have a spurt of results, and then that will die away. You have to be disciplined and have enough hustle to do it day in, day out, and work for the things you said you wanted when you said you wanted them. That work ethic is so important, because again, this is a position that you're constantly building and working. And so you've got to have that discipline and hustle.
Absolutely. Okay. So you guys, the next thing is just a spiritual understanding of your place in this company and what is happening right now. And, you know, I don't know what kind of faith background that you have. I don't know if you pray. I don't know if you meditate. I don't know if you do yoga. I don't know what your spiritual mojo is, but here's what I know. I know that this company was built on Christian principles, that Mary Kay Ash was famous for espousing that Jesus Christ was her savior, and that he was the one who gave her the idea for this company, that he was the one daily giving her power to do the things that she was doing, and that every glory that she achieved was because of him. And so, you know, I think that there's a bigger picture here that is afoot. And I think that you knowing and believing your place in that is powered by God and his Holy Spirit is going to be a game changer for you. And so I just encourage you, if you don't have a Bible, get one, or tell me. I'd love to get you one as a gift. You can probably get one at any local Baptist church in your area for free. But I would love to get you one, because you've got to have a source of inspiration, a source of strength that is outside yourself, that you go to every single day for courage, for just the security of knowing that you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, because it won't feel like that almost ever. It will almost never feel like you're doing the right thing or saying the right thing or doing enough of the right things. I still feel that way, but I trust in God that he has me here for such a time as this to complete a good work that he prepared in advance for me to do, because that's what the Bible tells me, and I just believe it. You got to believe in something, right? So your spiritual understanding, you know, so many women give the devil too much credit, and they talk about how, you know, the enemy is trying to stop them at every turn, and when I try to do this happened, and so I couldn't get my bookings done. Or when I tried to go out and meet up with this girl, you know, she canceled on me, and Satan is trying to sabotage me. No, we cannot give the devil too much credit. You know what someone told me one time that it was like a light bulb moment? The devil is not all knowing like God. He doesn't know everything that's going on in your mind. He doesn't know everything that's going on in the world. He doesn't see the world from up here, he doesn't exist outside of time and space like God. God had this planned far in advance for us to do. And I'm just wondering, are you one of the people to come with us? I'm inviting you tonight. We're inviting you to come on this journey with us that we are certain we've been called to. And it's a high calling. And, you know, I really feel like your unit members, your team members, your customers, your sister sales directors have already been chosen by God. And it's up to us to do the work, to walk the path, to invite them, and they will be the ones to say yes. There'll be plenty who decide that they're going to say no for whatever reasons, and they're just not the ones that God picked for us. They might be in future national areas. They might never be a part of Mary Kay, but the ones that are ready for your future team, your future unit, and our future national areas have already been chosen by God, and I believe that. And so where does your source of spiritual strength come from? Wherever it is, you've got to tap into it constantly so that fear and disbelief don't totally shut you down, okay?
Hey, Katie.
Katie's on our special guest. Okay, we'll get to her in a few minutes. All right, Katie, perseverance.
Hold on, Katie, if you want to mute on your phone, just so that you don't pop up if any sound comes on.
Katie's so pretty. Look at her. She's so pretty.
Good luck. All right, so I'm going to talk about perseverance. holy cow, perseverance, you guys. You have to be someone who doesn't get discouraged easily. You're going to have emotional ups and downs. Like, here I say this. You're going to have some moments where you're going, oh, I don't feel like doing this, or so-and-so said she was going to do something and she didn't. We want to prepare you emotionally that that's going to happen. So you've got to be someone who has perseverance. That's why it's so important, you guys, for you to have visual goal posters that will keep you keeping on. If you can't muster it yourself anymore some days, because there are some days where you just wake up and you go, I don't know if I have what it takes. But then you literally walk into your bathroom and there's your Bible verse that you knew that God gave you. And then you walk to your front door and there's your postcard from your sales director telling you that you can do this. And then you go to your car and there's your big picture of your sales director suit, and you cut out your head and you put it on it and you go, I'm doing this. And then you walk into your office and you see the 24 spots, the circles with the faces of the women that you're plugging in there. And it reminds you that other people's dreams are dependent on yours. You guys, you have to look for opportunities and not your limitations. You've got to be a woman of perseverance who, even in the midst of the ups and downs, can continue on. And Jordan's going to talk about something that's so important that comes straight from that perseverance, and that's having a strong attitude.
Your positive attitude. You guys, Mary Kay was famous for saying your attitude will determine your altitude, meaning you're never going to rise any higher in this company than your attitude will allow. So if you felt stuck for a while, maybe take an attitude check and figure out, is my attitude as positive as it could possibly be? Am I projecting enthusiasm about my business? You guys, I am always striving to be as honest, as genuine, as transparent, and as humble as I can possibly be, because I believe that God honors people who are humble and who are willing to admit when they're wrong and show their faults and mistakes. And listen, my attitude for the last few months has stunk. I didn't even want, I couldn't even figure out why my attitude was so bad, but I was just in a funk. It was a personal thing, had nothing to do with my amazing unit, had nothing to do with my gorgeous, strong, godly friendships with my offspring. It was just me. It was my own head. And maybe you've been in that space before where it's just you're in an attitude funk. And I'm telling you what, not a soul will be attracted to your business no matter what your accolades look like if your attitude is wrong. If your attitudes are in a funk, nobody wants to be in your space. But I'll tell you what, when you choose to have enthusiasm, which is God within. That's what enthusiasm means. Literally in Greek, it means God within. When you let the Holy Spirit shine through you, when you choose to be positive and speak life to others, to give compliments, to be optimistic, to think that there are business appointments for you out there. There are strong, amazing, diligent working team members out there waiting for you. That there are people who want to have parties and they want to spend money on our products. When you say those things and speak those things and think those things, it's almost like God brings them to you faster and easier. And when I was building my unit, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to be a DIQ. I didn't know how to be a director. I had never done either one of those things. But people were signing up left and right to join me, not join Mary Kay. They wanted to join me because of my enthusiasm, because I was excited about what I was doing. And I'm hoping that that same gifting transfers to you, because really selling is just a transference of your attitude. It's a transference of feelings. And so you've got to give people great feelings by having them yourself first. And that's called having a positive attitude. And you get it from reading your source of spiritual inspiration. You get it from listening to the $1 Million Message. You get it from staying plugged in to your sister consultants and people who are going where you're going and who are where you want to be. That's how you get a positive attitude. Kelly just nailed it, knocked it out of the ballpark. You've got to have your positive phrases, your positive scriptures, your positive visions up around you constantly, or your attitude is going to stink. And that's the bottom line. And we will have no weak attitudes in this future national area, that's for sure. So the other part of other quality that goes right alongside attitude is being a team player. Are you a team player? Are you supporting your recruiter and her goals? Are you supporting your unit right now and the unit goals? Are you supporting your national sales director and our goal to be the #1 national area at Seminar 2018 in the Sapphire division and #1 in the whole company? of Mary Kay for Kathy's last full seminar year. You know, that's the number one that Kathy has never achieved. She's never been the #1 national sales director in the nation or in the company. And Kathy is used to #1. So we are going to work really hard to get that accolade for her as her very last retirement send-off for a remarkable career of over 32 years serving women all over the world, literally, with Mary Kay. So are you a team player? Do you show up on the calls? I'm preaching to the choir right now because you're listening and you're here. Do you show up on the Hangouts? Do you show up to the events that we put on, like October Leadership Advance and Career Conference and Seminar and Leadership Conference? If you're in that space for DIQ or Future Director, are you showing up for your weekly success meetings? And if not, I mean, I'll just be straight talking right now. We don't buy your excuses for why you're not there. If you're not there, that sends us a very strong message. Whatever the reason, it just shows us that you haven't found Mary Kay to be valuable enough to you yet to show up. So our goal tonight is to make you want it bad so that we always see your face. So Kelly's going to talk to us now about flexibility.
Oh my gosh, flexibility. Well, first of all, let me just tell a story about that, about showing up. I was Jordan's DIQ, obviously. I was her consultant at one point, and I remember texting her, and this goes right along with flexibility. I texted her one time, and I was like, I just had 5 cancellations for our success meeting tonight. I don't feel good. You know, I was venting all these negative and emotional things that she said, and all she texted me back, she said, I'm not RSVPing for your pity party. And I was like, what? I was like, what does that mean? And she just said, I'm not RSVPing. She said, go sell a microdermabrasion and tell me how you feel. And so I just went out to find somebody who wanted a microdermabrasion. And then I was like, I made $55. And it brought my spirits up. But you guys, I had to have flexibility. I had to be willing to adapt to the ups and downs that come with your business, that come with being in growth. You guys, you've been in a box. You've been in a box that feels really comfortable. It feels safe. And it's actually natural for us to want to stay in that and to stay in a comfort zone. But every other gift from God, every other part of who you want to grow into is outside of your comfort zone, I promise you. And so you have to be willing to adapt to the changes that are going to come when you are changing as a person. You've got to be willing to be, oh my God, hear me say this, coachable and teachable and willing to learn and humble to listen. When Jordan said that to me, I mean, I felt like I was like, she hates me. She doesn't love me anymore. But she was being a good coach. She was saying, that's not a positive spirit. That's not who you need to be. That's not who you need to work to. I remember missing my first success meeting because she told me to show up, and I showed up every single week, whether I had a party, one person, no guests at all. I showed up every single week. And one week she texted me and she said, where are you? And I said, I didn't really feel good. I had like a headache and it's been a long day. And she was like, oh, that's interesting. She said, your team probably won't show up if you don't. And I was like, to my heart again. But she was an incredible leader. She was giving me coachable moments to say, if you want to be a leader shows up, whether she feels like it's or not. You have to be who's willing to adapt to changes that are happening around you. Circumstances cannot affect who you decide to be. You have to be the same woman in your Converse, shoes and your workout clothes as you are as your Mary Kay parties. And so I had to be someone who was willing to have flexibility and willingness to hear the advice I needed to have from her. And she helped grow me into one of the characteristics that we know is next, dependable. A woman of your word. Are you someone that builds trust in your customer relationships? Are you someone who says you're going to do something and then does it? Are you building trust with your potential recruits and then your recruits that join your team? Are you being a woman of your word who's showing your family that you care about the mission and that you're committed to your career with Mary Kay? Or are you someone who says, oh my gosh, my party canceled for Saturday, so I'm free. Let me, go get ice cream. Are you someone who says, I already blocked that 2 hours of time, and so I'm going to honor that investment and keep working my business because I already paid the sitter and I already left home and I've already got my booking list with me. Are you a woman of your word, dependable for what you say you're going to do?
That tough love. Can't deposit excuses at the bank, can you, Kelly Brock? That that she just got. Okay, so the tough love sometimes, y'all. And so if you're feeling, just let me say before I talk about our last quality, if you're feeling like, or this is not our last quality, sorry, but if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't always do these things. It's fine. We didn't always do these things either. But as you make these things your ideal, as you make these things at the forefront of your mind, you start to become that woman all the time. And that's that growth process. That's trusting the process. It's not going to be instant. It's not going to be overnight, but these are the qualities that you will be growing into as you go through this process. So how is your self-confidence? That's the next quality, self-confidence. You know, as a woman, just as a person in your life, not as a Mary Kay beauty consultant, on a scale of 1 to 10, write down on your paper that's in front of you. 1 being very, very low confidence, 10 being off the charts, ultimate confidence. How confident do you feel as a woman right now, just as a human being? 1 is not confident at all. 10 is, I couldn't feel any more confident. And write that number down on your paper, okay? So if you wrote something that is a 5 or below, I want you to think about this question, and you can write it down. What is the one thing that you could do in your life to improve your self-confidence? What is one thing that if it changed, your confidence would just soar? What is the one thing? Write it down. Now let's move on to your confidence as a Mary Kay beauty consultant, as a business owner. As a beauty consultant, with your skills and the tools that you need to succeed, 1 being, I don't feel confident at all in what I'm doing in Mary Kay. 10 being, oh, I'm so totally confident in my skills and what I'm doing in my business at this stage right now. Where would you say that you are? Write down that number on a scale of 1 to 10. And again, the same question. If you're a 5 or below, what is the one skill that you would need to master in order to feel infinitely more confident in your Mary Kay business? Or what is the one thing, if it's not a skill, what's the one thing that would have to happen in your life in order for you to feel more confident in your business? You know what, for me, you guys, those things are very one and the same. I'm somebody who, my mind, body, and spirit all have to be in alignment, or I feel like I can't move, or go fast, or be excited, or be whole. And so I am somebody who I have to be feeling physically fit in order to feel level 10 confident in my life as a woman and in my business as a leader, because I rely a lot on having fresh energy to talk to people, to not feel tired or sleepy, to get up early, to stay up late so I can get the things done that I need to get done. And I don't feel energetic or lively or enthusiastic when my body feels sluggish. I just can't like overcome that hurdle. So when I really want to make sure that my confidence is an all-time high, I focus a lot on my physical fitness, nutrition, getting the right, vitamins and minerals into my body, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, and those things help me. So what are the things, maybe your personal and your business are totally interconnected, but make sure and write it down or think about it. If it hasn't come to your mind already, think about it before you text your picture of your response sheet to your director or to me or Kelly, so that we can know exactly what the one little piece is that we can help you with to get your confidence up to a high number if it's not there already. I was so proud. I met a couple weeks ago with my first line offspring sales director, Equinox driver, triple star, Angela Rose. And I asked her this question. I said, how confident do you feel as a woman? And she said, I think 8 or 9. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And then she said, I said, how confident do you feel as a leader in Mary Kay? She said, 9, 10. She was like up there at the top of the charts, and no wonder she was an all-star this year in her business. It's no wonder she has an amazing unit that loves to follow her, and it's no wonder that she's going to be on the top sales director trip driving a pink Cadillac with Offspring this year, because her confidence is exactly where it needs to be, and I'm super proud of her for that. So now Kelly's going to give us another quality.
Yeah. So the next quality that it absolutely takes, you guys, is courage. I just talked about that box that you already exist in. It's your comfort zone. Courage is the very first thing that you already did when you had the 20 seconds of courage to start your Mary Kay business. You were deciding where you were wasn't what you wanted, and you wanted to step into something new. And your next position, your next promotion, your next recruit, your next $1,000 week, your next successes are all going to come from your next moments of courage. You can't bank those last ones either. They don't sit in the bank. You've spent them. And so you've got to have your next step of courage of stepping out from what you've already been doing and growing into your next position. And so it absolutely requires that you be someone who is doing something that feels a little uncomfortable. I remember knowing and reading this in a book one time, and it was talking about how when you're growing when it feels uncomfortable. And so when I would decide to warm chatter or decide to talk to someone that I felt nervous about. I was like, this must be me growing. Here I go, because this must be the right move, because it feels so foreign to me, because that was me becoming the new version of me. That was me becoming the best version of me. And now all of a sudden, just like Jordan said, it's progress. All of a sudden, this is now who Kelly is. I didn't start as this. I didn't start confident. I didn't start with this much makeup on. I didn't start, with diamonds and free cars. I grew into those successes and into these characteristics because I was willing to have those moments of courage and just obey it when I felt it and take the very next step.
So amazing. All right, you guys. Now listen, the last quality that we want to talk to you about right now is vision. Vision for your future, vision for where you're going, vision for who you're taking with you and whose dreams are attached to yours. And we talked already about the visuals that you need. We talk about this all the time in Mary Kay, but you've got to have vision that is crystal clear. It has to be up in front of you physically for your eyes to land on when your brain is not working and when your emotions are fighting against you. So you've got to have vision, because without vision, the people perish. And that is just so true. Without vision, without a clear picture of what it is that you really, really want, then you'll just sort of drift around and float around in the sea, being tossed around like waves. And seriously, no one ever drifts into being excellent. You have to make a strategy based on your vision and create a plan, and then work that plan until you achieve what you want. I mean, it's just like a lather, rinse, repeat kind of situation once you know your vision of where you're going. My vision right now is so crystal clear. It's to have 20 or more sales directors on that seminar stage in 2018, to honor my mom's legacy, to raise up leaders that are godly women that want to influence other people and influence this world for Christ. And seriously, I cannot wait for that moment where we're standing there giving God the glory because Jesus wrapped it all up. And you know what? That vision is something I'm posting all over my home. It's something that I see when I close my eyes, because it's in my heart, it's in my mind, it's in my brain, but it's also something I need to see when I open my eyes all around my house. So I want to just really quick allow our special guest to share just a minute, because these qualities so define and describe this woman that you're about to meet. She has them all. She has all these characteristics. She has integrity. She has perseverance. She has character. She has vision. She has faith. She has all of the things, the self-confidence, you guys. She's growing into all of these traits, and she has so many of them already. And she is just a breath away from debuting as our number 8 sales director in our future national area. And as a consultant, she earned her Chevy Cruze, you guys. She earned a career car as a consultant, which all of the Inner Circle national sales directors that I bragged about her to at seminar were so impressed by. And I haven't even gotten the chance to tell her that yet, but I want Katie to unmute. Katie Hetrick is the personal recruit and future offspring sales director of my first line director and friend, Betsy Sugg. And so Katie, I want you to unmute yourself, and I want you to just share with everybody what it felt like tonight, because you had a very special event that we want to hear about, and we also want to see pictures of it, if you can show those to us.
Yes. So I'm sitting in my free car.
Woo!
Not.
Yeah!
Right? Yeah. Yay! Yeah, so okay, it's too dark. I don't have any pictures because I'm on my phone.
Okay.
But I'm sitting in it because I'm probably going to sleep out here too, because hey, like, what in the world? My name's Katie. I am a free driving future sales director. And I started my Mary Kay business just over a year ago. And I was just thinking about this today. If someone would have said, oh, hey, in a year, you're going to have a free car. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Stop
There's
talking.
my little Easton.
Let me talk. Who's that?
That's Easton. That's my little baby. He's 2. He was so sweet. He saw the car and he says, Mommy's car. There's me and Betsy.
That's Katie and her senior director picking up their cars. Woo! Although Betsy already had hers. Betsy's Equinox is on its way, delivering any day. But that's what happens when Katie promoted herself. Betsy got a promotion too, and that's why Mary Kay is so amazing. Okay, go ahead, Katie.
Yeah, so it was so exciting Betsy and I get to be car twins for a little bit. But yes, so little Easton was there, and when he saw the car, he says, Mommy's car, because I've had pictures all around the house, through the whole process. And he'd always see the car and be like, "Oh, mommy's car, mommy's car." So he was probably my biggest why, as you know, to get car done. But yeah, it felt incredible to be there with a few of my team members, like my star players. You know, they showed up and they wanted to be there for that huge moment. And it was so funny driving home from picking up the car. Derek's like, obviously I drove. Derek was sitting in the passenger seat and he's just like looking around. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? He's like, I'm just taking it in. Like, just, this is cool. I'm just taking it in. I was like, oh, it's so awesome. Like, it just, to see your biggest supporter excited and happy and proud. It was so awesome.
Man.
Yeah.
We're super proud.
I don't know what else.
Okay, listen, I didn't want to interrupt you because I love seeing your heart and I love hearing how proud your husband was of you. And really, you guys, Katie started her business about a year ago. And with just a dream in her heart. And I have to show another picture that she boxed me not that long ago that I am just so obsessed with. I love that she follows instruction and coaching. This is her. She cut her head off and put it on the sales director suit. I just thought that was the best thing. And I mean, seriously, she's so coachable, so teachable, so willing to do the goofy things that it takes. And here she is picking up her career car on her way to her debut as a sales director. And I just cannot wait for you guys to get to know up close and personal Katie Hetrick, because she is a woman worth knowing. And I knew it from the first conversation I had with her. Betsy, her director, was still a consultant in my unit when she signed up. And so I got the chance to do new consultant orientation with her over Google Hangout, just like this. And I just listened to her heart. I saw the pictures of her family collaged on her wall behind her. She was living and working at a family farm. That is their business. And she had a work ethic like I couldn't believe. And I just prayed to God that she would see the vision, just what we talked about, the vision of what this could be for herself. And here you are, Katie, about a year later, stepping into this position to pass it on to other people. And I'm just over the top excited for someone of your caliber to be a part of our family as a sales director. So I can't wait to see how you guys finish this out and how God shows up for you guys and does miracles that only he can do. So thank you for sharing with us about your car pickup. And Katie, let me just ask you one more question. Is there anything you can think of that could have stopped you from entering DIQ or going for it with all of your guts, even though you had no experience with makeup or sales or anything 1 year ago?
I feel like my biggest holdback starting a year ago would have been the thoughts of other people, what I thought other people would think, when they really don't think that at all. They probably, they don't have those kind of thoughts, but you get in your own head and you think, you just overprocess and you work yourself up over nothing. I feel like that was probably my biggest hurdle, but and reaching up and getting advice from especially Betsy. Betsy's just she breathes so much belief in you and she encourages you. Like, I that kind of leader around you, and you have to go to them. And if I didn't have Betsy, I wouldn't be where I was without Betsy. That's for sure.
Oh, that is the best. Okay, so give everybody, I know Betsy's probably crying right now. Give everybody just one tip on, what's been a secret to your success.
Oh, this is my favorite one, because I got to tell a bunch of people at seminar too, because they were all like intrigued. I was like, oh, this is fun. So biggest tip is write down 10 women, like make a list 1 through 10, and write down 10 women you think would at least sit down with you and have a coffee chat. And you just do Kathy's 30-minute interview. And I contacted all 10 of the women that I made the list of. And of those 10, 4 of them were my car people. They came in active for car. So I feel like that's my biggest tip. Just think of 10 women that would at least sit down with you, because you never know. Tip.
I love it. Oh my gosh, so simple, so doable. Everybody can think of 10. So thank you so much, Katie. And I just appreciate you giving us your time. And I know you want to go and enjoy that free car. So don't sleep in it. It's not a good idea.
Katie, we're so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Such a vision.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for your sweet words.
We're so proud.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, so what we're going to do, Katie, if you want to mute back out, you can. But what we're going to do is continue on with really fast the what. What obstacles are going to be in your way? Because we all know anything worth having is hard. I mean, there's going to be obstacles that get thrown in your way and things that are going to try to hold you back and stop you. And one of the biggest things that can stop you is if you don't clearly communicate to your family and the people who love you the most about what you're about to do. If you're going to come on this journey with us and you're going to enter leadership role with Mary Kay, whether it be on the red jacket level, the DIQ level, or the sales director position, or all of the above, all, you know, in succession, then you've got to let your family and people who support you know that you're about to change some things, that the train is coming and that you're getting on it. And that's going to mean planning ahead with a schedule, a weekly plan sheet on Sunday nights with your entire family there so that they know and understand what mom's schedule is going to be like, or what wifey's schedule is going to be like, or daughter's schedule, whoever depends on you, that they know that your schedule is going to change, and that it's because you're passionate and you have a vision for your future and where you're going, and that they matter to you, that their priorities are first in your life, that God comes first, that they come second, and that your Mary Kay, though, is going to come third. And it can't come 33rd. It has to come third if you want to be a leader and if you want to move up fast and you want to come on this journey. So an unsupportive spouse is usually just because they don't have enough information and we haven't taken care in advance enough to let them know what we're going to do. So a simple meeting on Sunday nights, or a state of the business address. One of my amazing adopted consultants recently just sat down with her husband and her kids and said, we're having a family meeting. And they were all going, why? What? We've never had a family. What are we meeting about? And she said, just be there. It's going to be Sunday night, just after dinner, come to the table. We're having a family meeting. And even her husband was so curious. And what she did was she sat down and told them that after seminar, she felt God put a calling on her life to become a leader with Mary Kay. And she started with tears in her eyes and looked at her husband, and who's a police officer, and said, or he wants to be a police officer. It's his dream. And she said, you are my why. I want to make enough income to be able to allow you to quit your current career and go for your dream of being a police officer, because it's what you've always wanted. But the only way I can do that and still be the mother I want to be to our children is for my Mary Kay business to come to the forefront. And here's how I plan to do that. Will you support me? And she said he sat there just stunned with emotion. He sat there trying to hold back tears when she looked at him and said, you're my why. And honestly, there is no greater way to gain support from your spouse and to overcome that obstacle than sitting down and letting them know exactly what you're about to do and sharing your vision with the people who are most important, letting them know that they're not, that they are the reason why you're doing it. So that's the first obstacle and a great way to overcome it.
So another obstacle, you guys, aside from that family piece or those supportive key people in your life, for sure, Katie just touched on it. It was my greatest obstacle to overcome were the lie stories. The lie stories you tell yourself about, number one, what people are thinking about you. I promise you, they're not thinking about you as much as you're thinking about you. So those lie stories are things that we tell ourselves that we literally just made up a whole situation that could be, that never existed in the beginning. And that was hard for me because I always joke, I'm a recovering people pleaser. It matters so much that people like me and that they are not offended by me and things like that. And I had to get over it. I had to stop telling myself stories that this was inconveniencing them, or that this was going to offend them, or that like me reaching out was going to be a problem. It was just like all of a sudden I had to do exactly what I told you earlier to do, which was to have courage. And when I started to have courage, people started responding. And all of a sudden these lie stories started going away because I started proving myself wrong. And I started proving that people were obsessed with our products, that they loved spending time with me, that I was enthusiastic and they wanted to join my team. And so I started telling truth stories. And that's why filling yourself with the Holy Spirit and the Word and the truth that God says about us is so important, because when you guys are alone in here, Kathy Hillo always says, this is the dark space where negatives are produced. When you go silent, when you go quiet, when you start accepting the stories that you've been telling yourself, you're living this lie story. And another lie story that you sometimes tell yourself is that comparison game. Maybe you know a Katie and you go, I'm not Katie. I haven't earned a car. I don't have, I'm not building my team yet. You start the comparison game. I'm not her. I'm not this. I'm not that. And you start thinking you're already behind. And when you do that, you set yourself up for the biggest obstacle ahead of you, which is thinking that you're running a race with other people when you were doing this for you and your family and your personal growth and your financial freedom to begin with. So you've got to let that comparison game go and let the lie stories go.
So good. Okay, the next thing that's going to stop you is doing your team members' parties and work for them. So that's the role of a director. If you want that job, you come on up the career path and you come get it, girl, because that's the job of a sales director, is to coach and train and teach by, their own methods, the beauty consultants in their unit. When you have a team member, her success is not your responsibility. And sometimes we feel that way, and it takes us away from the real work of building our own future and our own family's finances, which is our own personal business. So here's what Mary Kay Ash always taught. She said, if you have a team member and you want to be a responsible recruiter that leads by example, what you do is you book a party and you take her with you to watch you do it. You're making the money. She learns while you earn. And that is how Mary Kay always taught us to work our businesses. She didn't teach us to go and hold kickoff parties or debut parties for our team members or do anything like that. She said everybody who gets a starter kit box can read the materials, take responsibility for their own education, read the flip chart, and go do a party. That's why I created this business, because it was so simple. Keep it simple, sweetie. Don't do other people's work for them, because then you just never know. You never know if she's going to stay. You never know if she's going to want to build her business, and it's almost like you're handicapping her. Thinking you're putting the seed in her mind that she can't do this without you. Are you going to hold parties with her the rest of her Mary Kay days? No. So what you do is you book parties. You let her watch you, and your skills will be improved. You won't even believe what a great party you'll do when you know your new team member is watching you. You'll practice your scripts ahead of time. You'll practice with that flip chart. You'll practice. You'll make sure you're prepared in advance so you don't look like the hot mess express, as Courtney likes to say. So you will do a better job in your own business, and she will get a better learning experience watching you and being your washcloth and table cleanup and setup assistant than she ever will by you doing the work for her.
Absolutely. And that brings us to our next point: progress, not perfection. You've got to be focused on progress, not perfection. For so many consultants, they get held up when they go, I've got to study all this first. I've got to know what I'm saying first. I've got to have memorized the catalog. I need to know all the prices. I need to know what they talk about. When really that's a big mistake. You're never going to perfect something without the actual activity and experience. And so that's why you've got to throw yourself into the field. My very first party, I will never forget. I put the satin lips mask, because it looked just like the firming eye cream, in the little, well, and someone put the mask all over their eyes, and I was like, doesn't this feel great? So rich, it's creamy, because I was already using that product, so I knew that one. And they're like, actually, it's like really scratchy and it kind of hurts. And I'm like, oh God, this is it, I'm done. Then someone wanted a roll-up bag as a free gift with purchase, and I thought the company was going to provide that for me. So I called the company, was like, my girl didn't get a roll-up bag. Yo, it's progress, not perfection. I failed my way to my next position, my next moment of success, but I was committed to just saying, I'm getting better every day. You've got to be committed. And the only way you do that, you guys, the only way you get over the fears in front of you is to face them. Okay? Hear me say that. The only way you're going to get to that next position, to that next moment of growth, to you feeling confident about it, is to do it. So you've got to embrace that this is a business of progress, not perfection. Today, you see Kelly Brock, that is 7 years in the making. I didn't start like this. I am constantly becoming a better version of myself, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So progress, not perfection.
Okay, Kelly, you want to talk to us about time management?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. So time management, you guys, and I'm actually going to share this with your sales director. I'm going to email her, but I didn't get a chance to have it in a scanned version. But it's really important for you to know how you're spending your time. You shouldn't be spending your time from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. organizing your inventory and putting labels on products and, studying your flip chart or, studying your catalog to know about the products. Those are things that we always say to do after 9 p.m. because from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. should be what we call income producing activities. Focusing on things like holding skincare classes, putting out facial boxes, meeting new people, coaching your classes, reaching out to your hostess, holding appointments, servicing your customer, having sources for leads, selling product. All of those things are what we call income producing activities. And again, I'll send this to all of the sales directors so they've got access to give it to you too, but you've got to know that you are wasting your time. You can waste your time and it can be a great obstacle to you because I promise you can feel really busy with Mary Kay by doing a lot of things that don't make you money. And so for time management, you've got to be smart. When I started Mary Kay, you guys, I was working a full-time job. I was in graduate school and planning my wedding. I literally thought if I held an appointment, I've got one pocket and here's where I'm going to fit it in. And so I committed to that one pocket. And then I learned to be smart. I brought my Mary Kay business with me in the nooks and crannies of my life. If I went to a bachelorette party, I brought products with me. If I went out of town to visit girlfriends, I brought products with me. If I was visiting my grandma, I did a facial with her. I was smart about my time management. When I went grocery shopping, I always had my Mary Kay pin on. I always had samples with me. I always had a fresh catalog, crisp samples, my business card ready and prepared that if God gave me these opportunities, I was being smart about the time that he gave me to work my business and working it with income producing activities.
That's so good. Those are such good tips. I know that these women are taking notes, but man, I hope you guys wrote just those simple things down about how to work this business into the nooks and crannies. So time management is key. So another thing that will totally stop you and shut you down if you let it is what I wrote. I could hardly describe it, but I wrote it down as quiet shame. Quiet shame. That feeling that maybe you should be further along than you are by now, or that shame of maybe, you missed your goals last month or for the last 6 months and you just feel like, why am I even going to reset them? I probably disappointed my director so much. Or my national sales director, I told her I was going to debut as a director last year and I didn't do it. I just want to say there is never a reason at all to feel any amount of shame or guilt or anything like that in your Mary Kay business. And especially when it comes to your sales director. She's a sales director because she's emotionally stable. She's okay. She can handle it when you don't, quote, perform in a way that maybe lives up to the standards that you set for yourself or that she set for you, or live up to the big picture that she has of you in her mind. Don't see that as a bar that you have to hit. See it as her belief in you. See it as a compliment. Take it as a gift that she sees something in you that she believes is truly great. And if you haven't quite performed up to that greatness to this point, don't avoid her calls. Don't go away from the meetings. Don't stop showing up on things because you think she's disappointed in you. You know what? I promise you she's not. And I promise you that her greatest joy would be for you to keep showing up, to keep going at it, to keep changing the date but not the goal, and to keep moving forward. And that quiet shame is a killer for a lot of people because they sometimes step out in courage and say something crazy and it's caffeine fueled and it's emotionally driven, and then they don't perform up to it, and then they go away forever thinking, or for years thinking, that they shouldn't have done that and that was stupid and they feel silly and like they disappointed someone. But that is one of the worst things that you can do. What you can do is fail forward to your success and keep coming back and keep showing up and keep trying and keep saying it, even if your emotions tell you something different. So don't believe that's another lie story, is that quiet shame. So the other thing I'm going to skip over, Kelly, and you can go back to yours, is procrastination. Just that shame sometimes makes us stretch things out, just putting things off, thinking, well, I can do it when I get my act together. I can do it. I'll do it after Christmas. I'll do it after we move. I'll do it after the wedding. I'll do it after I have my baby. I'll do it when, I lose 20 pounds. I'll do it when I don't have to take care of my mother-in-law. I'll do it when it's always the someday syndrome. The someday syndrome will stop you dead in your tracks. Someday is not a day of the week. And that's why I was hashtagging this event with one day or day one. Are you going to say, yes, this all sounds great, one day I'm going to do that? Or are you going to say, gosh darn it, today I'm going to start today. Today's going to be my day one. I am doing this thing. I'm going to make my list of 10 people, like Katie said, and I'm going to schedule some career chats. I'm going to talk about this business opportunity because I'm going places. My national sales director, Kathy, is going places. My senior sales director, Jordan, or whoever it is going places. My director's going places. And gosh darn it, I'm not going to be left out. But procrastination will kill it. Totally.
For sure. Another thing that will kill your mojo is where you put your energy. You have limited amount of energy. I actually read that you wake up every morning with like renewed energy and motivation and ability to work towards a goal, and then you spend it. You spend it all day. That's why a lot of people can have like successful diets all day long, and then at night they're like, give me the wine and the cheese and the cookies and the chocolate and all those things. You can spend your energy a lot of places. One of the places that you can lose it is with drama. You guys have to avoid people that do not lift you up. You have to avoid also the drama of prospects, maybe a potential team member, and they've been stringing you along for 2 weeks and they've been telling you they're gonna do this when their car gets fixed and blah, 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 blah. And you keep going, well, I'm gonna have my third team member. She said she's gonna do it when she gets her $100 and when she gets her tax, rebate, or, all of these things. And if they aren't ready to sign up on that day, you move on and you revisit her in 3 weeks. If that person said they were gonna buy a skincare set and they didn't buy it that day, you revisit her in 3 weeks. The energy you've spent was there at that appointment and that moment, and that's all you have time to spend, because you should be investing your time and your energy in the newness, because it's always easier to, inspire the new, to excite the new, than to revive or pull along the dead who may not be ready to make a decision right now. So you gotta watch where you do that. Another thing that we see is you try to reinvent the wheel, and you don't want to use the scripts that we tell you have worked for 54 years or are working for our units right now. You try to hold facials instead of doing parties, or you try to work online instead of, working face-to-face, knee-to-knee, toe-to-toe, building a relationship with someone, when we know that that's the success of where things come. You try to take a path that was different. Take the path that's already been laid out. We have 54 years of success. And so, I know Jordan was just sharing with me earlier today that Angela, built her business before and was someone who just said, I'm not going to do it the way that they told me to. I'm going to kind of reinvent the wheel. And she felt like she was on the struggle bus to get anywhere in her business. And when she rejoined Mary Kay a couple years ago, you guys, she sailed through it. She would show up to our weekly success meetings, $1,000 week, $1,500 week, $1,400 week, 4 new team members, 5 new team members, 3 new team members. And we were all just like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm just doing everything Jordan told me to do. Guess what Kelly Brock did? Everything Jordan told me to do. Guess what Katie is doing? Everything Betsy told her to do. Don't reinvent the wheel. Trust the leaders who are where we are, because we want you to be successful. There is no one besides yourself that is more in your current corner than your sales director. And so one of the things we want to do is take you through what you need to do to become a sales director. So to become a sales director, you first have to have 10 personal active team members, meaning you had these women join your team and your organization. And once you do that, you're going to submit for DIQ. And DIQ is a 1 to 4 month process, but we always say you need to do it in 3 months or less for sure. And you also need to be a star consultant. So you've got to have 10 active team members, okay, 10 personal team members, and then you are a star, meaning you've sold 1,800 wholesale from the company within that quarter that you are in right now. So for example, our quarter right now is going from June 16th to September 15th. So you need to be already a star if you're going to submit September 1st. If you're going to submit October 1st, you need to have just been a star. And so you're actually going to finish your unit by growing your organization to 24 team members. And what's so cool is when you start that process of 10, now all your 10 team members, all their team members can start to count as your 24 that you're growing your branch of your organization. And the reason that they all start to count in that moment is because you stepped up and told the company, I'm ready to take on the leadership. I'm ready to learn how to mentor and coach them. That's why they start to count then. Anyone who joins your team members team doesn't count until the day you have 10 and you submit for DIQ. So Jordan's going to take us a little bit through what that activity is going to look like for, having the magic in a skincare class.
Okay, you guys, the magic. I'm going to talk about the money and the magic of a skincare class. I built my entire business on the skincare class because I love them. They were fun. Facials stressed me out. Facials, I felt like took a very long time, and I had to have very high conversational skills to keep it from feeling awkward. And I didn't. I was 19 and I just felt like it was so much emotional investment to do a facial, and it took me like 3 hours. And parties were like fun. I had an audience. I got to give away free prizes. There were always like snacks, and I loved parties. And I made so much more money saying the same words to 5 people that I would say to 1. So it just made sense. I like money. I like to earn money. I like the security and the choices that money buys. And I'm not ashamed of saying that. And you know what? Seriously, you can make so much more money doing parties than you can doing faces one by one. And I know our company theme is faces take you places, but let's think in our minds when we hear that, groups of faces take us places. Because really, a party is magic. And here's what I want to show you, just some numbers. When I was in DIQ, when I was starting the process, ramping up to DIQ, I did exactly what Katie said. I made a list of people I knew just liked me and would do anything for me. And I asked them, is there any reason why they couldn't host a party for me with 5 to 6 people that I didn't know? Because I needed to branch out. I hardly had anybody in my warm circle of influence list because my mom facialed everybody I ever knew. So I hardly had anybody to start with. And so I said, would you please do this for me because you love me? That's why. Not because I'll give you this, because I'm going for this, because you love me. Will you host for me? I need you to get 5 or 6 people at your dining room table, and I'm going to give them a makeover. I'm not that good at it yet. I'm still learning, but you're going to have fun. I'll bring some cookies and pink lemonade. I'll give you $100 in free stuff if they buy things, and I'll show you how that works when I get to your house. What day can we do it? Saturday or Sunday? I only have this weekend or next. I mean, I was so laser focused and so confident and excited about what I was doing, and just said, please do this for me. Join me. People join you, not Mary Kay. They join you. So I said, please partner with me. And so I held, I'll never forget, 28 skincare classes in 1 month through my DIQ process. And guess what? That was enough. That was like 7 parties. It was like a party a day. I was basically having 1 party a day, even though that's not how I chose to schedule it. It could have been averaged out to doing a party every day. I'm seeing 5 or 6 women a day, you guys. And that was enough activity with my enthusiasm and limited knowledge about this business to be able to put a unit together. Now that's rare and uncommon, but what if you just did a smidge? What if you did a fraction of that kind of activity and your goal was to have 2 to 3 parties a week? 2 to 3 parties a week. Let me talk to you about the magic numbers of that. Let's use the example of 3 parties a week because that was Mary Kay Ash's bare minimum for a part-time beauty consultant. And we're setting the standards high because Mary Kay Ash did that, and we're carrying on her legacy, no one else's. So seriously, 3 parties a week took you 2 hours per party to actually hold, which gives you 6 hours in the week for party holding time. 6 hours. Let's say out of the 5 to 6 women around the table, you got 3 new customers at each party. It's about half the people buy something, which is about right. I mean, you know, usually, at least if they're nice people, they're buying a little something. But let's say they're not nice and there's 3 out of 5 or 6. Okay, you get 3 new customers. That's 9 new customers every week. What would you do with 9 new customers every week? You'd have 9 new profile cards waiting to go in the computer. You'd have 9 order bags to fill. You'd have 9 people to invite to your success meeting every single week. You'd have 9 women to rebook and invite to be hostesses to continue to get leads for your organization. What would change in your life if you had 9 new customers a week? Well, let me tell you financially what would change. You'd have 36 new customers every single month. Holy wow. Think of the new friends that you would have, the new parties you'd be invited to, the social situation in which you find yourself with 36 new friends. Every single month, this business is awesome. So think about that. Okay, you'd have 432 new customers in this year. If you did this one thing, if you made this one thing your mono focus, you'd have 430. What if you told your neighbor and they said, how's your little Mary Kay thing going? And next summer at the end of the kickoff to the school picnic, you said, oh, well, I have 432 women that buy Mary Kay from you. She'd fall over dead and sign up and say, show me what you are doing. What do you mean? If you did it for 2 years in a row, you'd have 1,000 women almost buying Mary Kay from you. And talk about reorder income. Well, now you can sit on the beach and collect money. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. So you know what? $200 is an average low skincare class. You'd have at least $600 in sales every single week, which would give you $1,200 profit every month, which would net you over a year over $14,000 from your Mary Kay business, investing about 6 to 8 hours a week. Hello, the magic of a skincare class.
Oh, sorry, I forgot I muted myself. I want to talk about the magic of team building and how this gets you into leadership and the kind of income that you can make by being a recruiter for our company. It's the second way we make income. You make 50% profit, like Jordan was just saying, and you make a lot of money selling the product. But the leadership potential that you've gotten, the income that you can make with Mary Kay by team building. And let me just tell you, when I was team building, when I started team building, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know all the major details that I now know because I've been in the company 7 years, but I had exactly what Jordan had. I had enthusiasm. I remember going to my first party, and again, these were like college friends that I did exactly what Jordan said, and I said, I need you to do me a favor, and I need you to get 5 friends around the table. I did exactly what she said. And so I stood in front of them and I said, hey, my name is Kelly England. I'm a new beauty consultant with Mary Kay. You guys are actually my first party. I'm super excited. I said this year, I'm really excited. I'm going to be making money for my wedding, which was my, first initial goal, but I'm super excited. I'm going to be earning my first free car, and I'm going to be promoting to the top 2% of the company as a sales director. And they were all like, wait, didn't you just say this is your first party? And I was like, yes, I'm earning my car right now. And they were like blown away because I had vision for where I was going. They were so intrigued that I would believe that I could do this at my very first appointment. And I said it at every appointment after that, from that moment on, because people wanted to follow me because they just saw that I was contagious with energy about how much fun I was having, how much personal growth I was having, the things that I was earning, the things that I was doing. You guys have your story about Mary Kay. You just have to be sold out about it. You just have to be enthusiastic about it. And so when you start growing your team, I'm going to show you a quick image. So let's just say you're a brand new beauty consultant. I'm going to show you the kind of income you can make when you are a consultant. So you might see some familiar faces here, but on this little flyer, you can see if you added 4 new qualified personal team members in 1 month. So we've got Lexi, who's in my unit. She's a new consultant. If she was to add 4 new personal qualified team members, meaning they came in 600 wholesale or above this month, she would, at her base, the base, meaning the beginning of her paycheck, make $146. Now, let's say you're a team leader, someone who's got 5 or more active team members. Your commission goes up from that 4% you're making as a new consultant. Now you're making that 9%, which is really sweet as a team leader. You can earn your first free car, all of that jazz. And we've got Lori Newman, who is going to be a DIQ. And her base pay, you guys, is going to be $416. And then we've got, oh, who's that little hot mama right there? Her name is Katie, and she's a DIQ, and her base pay, because she's making 13% as a DIQ, because she's ordering her own products, she's making that 13% commission. She is minimally making $512 as her base pay for adding those 4 new personal team members a month. And you guys, we say 1 out of 5 says yes to Mary Kay. That means minimally these women would have had to put the product and introduce the opportunity to 20 or more women in a month. And that's what they're making. Well, let me show you what a big girl sales director can make by adding those same 4 personal team members. So I want to introduce you to my gorgeous, one of my future, she is a sales director, but she's in my future national area, and her name is Cheryl Cox. And if Cheryl, let's just say her and her team, they did 10,000 wholesale that month, but just her adding her own 4 personal qualified team members, her base pay, I just told you, Katie's at DIQ level was $512. Her base pay is $800. Do you see that? That's her starting. And then her director paycheck off of just the scenario that we gave of a $10,000 team month, minimally, her base pay is $4,700. Do you see the income potential that can happen when you decide to take a leadership position with Mary Kay? Now she's making her thousands of dollars she was already making from adding her 36 new customers on average every single month. So she's making money on the 36 new customers she just added this month. And then guess what? 3 months ago, she added 36 new customers and they all ran out of their cleanser and moisturizer this month. So now she's getting paid in reorders. And then she's getting paid because she's team building and growing her organization and inviting women to be a part of this company. Do you see the income potential that you can make by being a part of Mary Kay?
I love it. And it's the same work, you guys. Katie is doing the same work right now as the DIQ that she's going to be doing next month when she's a sales director, but she's going to get paid over $300 more for the exact same thing. Katie, can you get an amen, Katie? Yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. So that's what's so great about it. All right, you guys. So we're almost done. So the last thing, you got to find a schedule that works for you. You've got to use the weekly plan sheet. And this is, if nothing else sticks with you tonight, let this stick with you. And you've heard it before, but it is oh so true. If you don't discipline yourself to a schedule, someone else is going to discipline you for the rest of your life to their schedule. And you know what? I'm a freedom and flexibility, high value person. I am willing. If I get my schedule in place ahead of time, I plan my work, then I work my plan because I want to be the one to discipline me. I want to be the one to decide when I go on vacation and when I get to pick up Ruby at preschool and when I get to take a lunch break and when I get to go to coffee or meet up with Kelly and Courtney to get my nails done or when I get to do any of the things in my life, go on date nights with my husband. I don't want to ask anyone for permission. And so I make a schedule for myself and I stick to it. And that's called discipline. That's just remembering what it is that you want. What kind of life do you want to live? It's not like any of us are getting any younger, right? So seriously, find a schedule that works for you and stick to it.
So another thing that you have to have, you guys, is you have to establish why you want to do this. You have to know why you are doing this, because if it's just for a diamond ring or if it's just for a car or if it's, just for your Star Consultant prize, those are things that we say are not emotional wise. Those are material wise. Those are just things that are going to, engage you for a moment or for a breath of time in your Mary Kay business. Your emotional why is your passion and your purpose. It connects you to your Mary Kay business. It's your life goals. It's your vision for who you want to be. It engages your heart. It includes your core values. When Katie, the moment she started tearing up was not the moment she was sitting in her car. It was the moment she started talking about her son and the moment she started talking about how her husband felt about her. That engaged who she was. And so sometimes you have to ask yourself some questions and find the value about what engages your heart in your Mary Kay business. When you think about what's most important to you, what do you think about? Is it your family? Is it your financial freedom? Is it your, parents being proud of you? What inspired you to join your Mary Kay business? I encourage you to write that down. What inspired you to make that 20-second courage decision to be a part of our company? At what point are you going to truly feel successful? For me, my first emotional why was I wanted that position of sales director because I wanted to wear this suit. I wanted my friends and family to see that there was legitimacy in my business. I wanted my friends and family to see me walk across that seminar stage where I had told them about last year that I was crying seeing all these other people. I wanted that moment. That's when I knew I would feel successful. If you could paint a picture, you guys, for the life that you envision for you and your family, what does it look like? If you haven't journaled and written that down and gotten clarity about where you're going, I promise, again, like I told you at the very beginning, you are going to blink and look down and in 5 years be in the exact same position, making the exact same money, doing the exact same things, talking to the exact same people, and be no further along in who you are or what you've been about. And so you've got to be clear about the picture you want for your future, and when you think about that picture and who you want to be, what does it look like and how are you going to feel when you achieve that? Write that down. Like Katie was waiting for the moment that she probably envisioned for months and months and months on what her husband would say about her and to her the moment he sat in the shotgun seat next to her when she picked up her first free car. And so how are you going to feel when you achieve that moment? And what's it going to look like? How can your family, who can benefit from your business? What are you looking to even accomplish? And what can you do with your Mary Kay business? Like, how can it actually serve you and your family? And it's really important that you make a why statement. And it might look as simple as this. When I become a sales director, I will be blank. Or when I become a sales director, I will feel blank. My family will be able to blank. My family will be able to have financial freedom, that I can work from home with my kids, that I get to have the flexibility to choose them first, or maybe it's my family will feel blank about me. my daughter is going to feel so proud of me because she sees a mommy who's strong. She sees a mommy who's hardworking, you know, and then at the end of that sentence, you can say, I can influence others, or I can influence my world blank because of those things. You've got to discover your emotional why, because if it's just a surface level something, it will keep you as long as it takes to get to that one moment. And then when that money's spent, when that gift has been used, when that car has been driven in, when that vacation has been done, it's it. But I promise, when you've got that emotional attachment to who you are becoming and where you're going and what you're doing for the people that you love that are attached to your dream, it'll keep you connected for a lifetime.
So listening to us tonight, you know, are you thinking, this is my tribe? Are you thinking, these are my people? Like, yes, I want to be girlfriends with Jordan and Kelly and Katie and all of these women who have these qualities. And yes, this is the type of people I want influencing my kids. Like, I'm an influence in Everly Ray Brock's life because I'm friends with her mommy. And you know what? I'm so thankful that Kelly is an influence in my daughter's lives because of who she is. Like, who do you want to do your life with, and who do you want influencing your close circle of friends and family and linking arms with to grow? You know, we're not doing this one by one. We are going to move women up the career path this year in groups. So do you want to be part of our September 1 group of DIQs, starting that process, linking arms, no girlfriend left behind? Do you want to be a part of that? There's already 2 women who are going in September 1st. Do you want to join the September group, or do you want to wait and be a part of the October group because you got to get your schedule together and your party mojo going and your confidence up to level 10? You know, when do you, I'll just say, don't wait too long. One day or day one. You know what? We are doing this. So come with us. We invite you to start down this process. We just gave you a long, long road, a big vision of what this looks like, but just start. I love that that was the first bracelet in our bracelet contest for the charm bracelets this year with Mary Kay. The bracelet said start, and this month, I hope you're looking at that 600 wholesale bracelet. It says party. That's exactly the tool and the vehicle that's going to get you to be a part of that September 1 group, to be a part of the October 1st group of DIQs that are coming into this sisterhood, that are linking arms with us to do life together as part of our future national areas. So we just invite you to that. And you know what? Big goal. This is how we're going to finish, to just put this in your mind. We have a big goal from all of our units in our future national areas to have 50 women in red jackets, brand new red jackets, show up to the Charlotte October Leadership Advance. And we have the most fun ever pre-Charlotte Advance party girlfriends bonding day planned. For those of you who make it, who get in red, 3 active team members, and earn your bracelets to come to October Leadership Advance, you will die when we tell you on our next hangout what this event is going to be. But let's just say this, I'm already having to convince Kelly Brock to sleep in a sleeping bag. Okay, y'all, she said she would never do it, but I am already convincing her that she's going to do it for our big adventure. So y'all get ready.
I'll do it.
It's so much fun, but I want 50 of us there. Kelly and I just dreamed of that number. We want 50 new red jackets to come with us to October Leadership Advance. And I just want to ask you, will you please, please, please consider being one of them? If you can even just see that far, get that far. And when you get there, you'll see a little bit further. I promise you that. And I told Katie Hetrick that several times during her DIQ process. Honestly, go as far as you can see. And when you get there, you will see a little bit further. And so we want to invite you to be a part of those 50 reds going to October Leadership Advance. We want to invite you to show up there not just with 3 active team members, but with 5 as a team leader on target for your car, or with 7 or 8 as a future sales director, with 10 as a DIQ, and to just dream really big with us, because that is seriously the place that we want to go. It's somewhere that we feel God has called us, and we just want to invite you to be a part of it. So Kelly, do you have any closing thoughts you want to share with everybody before we sign off?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, be at Charlotte Leadership Advance the 19th through the 21st. But then we've got our pre-party. It's going to be amazing. But I would just say, Jordan and I and Katie and all the other sales directors who are part of this, we have the privilege of working with a lot of women and meeting a lot of people. And I always say that there are 2 types of women that I meet. There are the women who tell me about their limitations, and they tell me exactly what we said all those things. I'm not those qualities. I'm not those characteristics. I don't have time management. I don't have courage. I don't. And they live in their limitations. And someone once told me, when you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. You'll stay right where you are, right who you are, doing exactly what you're doing, being as dissatisfied or discontent or unfulfilled as you are when you fight for that limitation. And then we meet women like Katie, and we meet women like the other sales directors who have already risen up into this position. And the only thing that separates them from you, from where you are and where they are and where they're going, is that they had 20 seconds of courage to decide to be better and to decide to have something more for themselves. And they embraced the limitations they had, and they put them on the table, and they said, teach me to be better, help me be better. And that's what we want to do, because this position, you guys, being a part of this company, not just as a beauty consultant, but in a leadership position, has shifted everything about who I am. I'm a better mommy. I'm a better friend. I'm a better human being. I'm more proud of myself. I breathe belief into my world because of who this company has grown me into. And I always say this, I would volunteer to be a sales director. I would volunteer to spend time with you. I would volunteer to tell you you are the most capable, amazing woman that can do anything she wants to do, because that is what Mary Kay has given me. And I didn't have that before. I grew into that. And so we're just saying, hold our hand, take the next decision. I'll be excited to see who in the next 2 weeks kind of steps up and to show us that they're ready to move into their next position and that they're serious about growing. And so we've been praying over this. We are serious about this. We have God as our business partners, and we're just excited to see who partners with us.
I love that. This is such a partnership. Thank you for using that word. This is a partnership. And so what we want you guys to do is pick your DIQ date, choose your date, and then book 3 parties and text us your sheet from tonight, because we want to see, we want to hear, we want you to show us, and we want to partner with you to get this wrapped up, to get this thing done. And so we'll be in touch too with those of you who are on and who follow up with us about what our next event is going to be, focusing on October Leadership Advance and the tools specifically that you need to get you there, and to get you there in style to be one of our 50 winners to be able to come to our super fun Girlfriends Bonding Day too. So be thinking about that when you go to sleep tonight. And you guys, we love you so much. We believe in you so big, and we thank you for your time. And we know we took more of it than we said, but hopefully it was worth it. So God bless you, and thank you.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye, Katie.
Bye, Katie.